Yo guys, what's up? It's Teacher's Game 2 coming at you with another helpful video on the new map Valguero today. So, right now I'm going to go ahead and show you where the best location to farm every single important resource on the map is, where you can get in the highest abundance, not only above ground, but below ground in the Aberration zone as well, which you'd be shocked how much better sometimes the resources are down there. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and check out the best place to get sulfur and all the harder stuff like raw salt and stuff like that on the map. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go each piece by piece and tell you where the location is, how to get it, so on and so forth, good tames, stuff like that. So without further ado, we're going to go and do above ground first. And I'm going to go ahead and go to this top of this map so you can kind of see where I am, what's going on here. Yes, I am on a rock drake. No, they are not on the map. It just happens to be the fastest tame that you can use in the game right now. Alright guys, so we are down in the the Wyvern Canyon. Oops, my bad. 8.5, 75.9. And what you're going to find in this location is actually really nice. You've got this right here, which is access to sulfur, these funky little rocks. I'm currently using a rock or a stone pickaxe, so you're not going to get the greatest stuff, but you can see it's there. And then right here, these trees are your charcoal access. This is the best you can find on the map, and the only charcoal trees. If you take a wyvern down here, you can clear everything out and gust attack these trees and come out with a very solid amount of the stuff that you need. And then your sulfur is right down in this area as well. This is the only sulfur spawn that I'm aware of on the map, as well as charcoal spawn. So let's go ahead to the next resource. Alright guys, now we are at our next location. If you are looking for metal and obsidian, both of them I have found the highest quantity per little tile area, I think is a good way to put it, on this mountain. And this mountain is located at 26.1, 77.6. Now what that means basically is on top of this mountain, you can kind of see it up here. Here's all your metal, and it goes all the way around it, and then all the obsidian nodes, you'll see them here too. And this mountain is just a great spot. If you have a Quetz and an Anki, or even an RG and an Anki, you can get a ton of metal just by going around this area. So this is the best above ground. It's still nowhere near what I'm going to show you later in the video. We slot cap our Anki down in the rad zone down beneath, and I'll show you that later in the video. So this is the best metal and obsidian spawn that I have found. I have yet to find another one, however this is a great spot. This also leads us, as long as we're here, the best way to get wood in this game is actually down here, right beneath this area. Now what you're going to do, you can kind of see these funky looking trees. Just get yourself a Therizino, wood roll rat, any wood gatherer, and just run through this. You can come back with thousands and thousands and thousands of wood. Now I'll show you this location too. 29.4, 86.1. This is the best location on the map that I have found to farm wood, and you can come back with a ton. We usually use a Quetzal or a crab and just come back with just a boatload of wood. So without further ado, let's go to the next one. Alright guys, and we are back again. So this is the actual best crystal spawn on the entire map. There's a ton of metal here, however I doubt you're going to be able to access it because it's also a great base location. 33.7, 11.0, and there is a cave inside this zone, and this is the reason you're not going to be able to access it, simply due to the fact that, well, once you get inside this thing, you'll see what I mean, but there is a very, very large amount of people that are going to want to build in here. So let's go ahead and flip upside down here. Boop, boop. Inside this cave, base-ish location, you're going to start seeing it. Look at all that crystal. It's everywhere. So if you need to get a bunch of crystal, a bunch of metal, this is a great little, you could even have just a little grind pad right here. Not a bad place to get a bunch of it. Another great thing about this cave, really easy to defend for early game. Late game, not the best though. Lots of metal, lots of crystal, plenty of resources. Obviously, if you need crystal, the best way to probably get it for you is outside. Let's just be totally honest. Just go to the top of a mountain, you can get the amount you need for early game, but late game, this is a great spawn for it. This also leads us straight into the spawn for CP, because this is a beaver dam location that not many people know about. And I'll show you it right over here. There are beavers all over the place in this area. You can see them right there. Location, 39.3, 12.4, and I apologize for these drops showing up. Those are the underwater loot crates, and I just don't want to get rid of them. So 39.3, 12.4, right out the front gate of this thing. This is where you find all the beaver spawns. So you got CP, metal, crystal, all in a very close range. Also, this is right next to an area that we have a tendency to farm a lot of stone. Now let me show you that real quick. Alright, so right over here, you can kind of see it's like a little quarry. You've got the stone rocks next to the water, and those are typically a great starting point in order to get a large amount of stone, just because with the Doedicarus, you can get a lot per swing, a couple hundred per swing, and then you move on to land. You'll be able to slot cap your Doedicarus really quick. However, you know stone is all over the map, so it's up to you. 40.3, 22.0, this is the best above ground spawn that I have found, so that's what I would suggest. Now, the last thing I want to show you as an important resource that I think you need to know where it is. If you haven't seen my video on it yet, there's a really easy silica pearl run that you can do, and I'm going to go ahead and go right over there because it's actually right next to us again. It's not a bad spot over here. So basically what you're going to do, going to go ahead and go in the water. You can see the rock drakes are kind of broken right now. If you swim around the small islands right here, what you're going to find is a ton of silica pearls. Now, 50.2, 37.6, and there is just a gross amount all over the place. Not only that, but on these little islands in this redwood area, I'll show you them in a second here. Let me grab some berries so I don't starve to death. Alright, so right across where we just were, over in the small islands area, if you go to the shore of the redwoods, what you're going to find is a ton of free sap. Now, there's little stump-looking things, and I'll show you what I mean once I locate one. They're right along the shore area of the redwoods forest. There's a couple right here. If you hit these guys, where's my rock drake going? Stay still, buddy. So, anyways, these stumps right here, you can kind of see them. They spawn all over the redwood shores, and 55.0, 35.7, and that is where you will find yourself these things, and they have unlimited sap potential. Get yourself a moss chops and hit those things, or just a dragon, any wood gatherer, and you will get a bunch of sap from them. Berries are pretty good in this region too, but that should be all the resources that you need. If you need black pearls, check out my video on that, because you have to go to the underground ocean in order to access it. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check out the resources under the map. Now this, what I'll tell you right now, under the map has the best resources in the game. That is where we are built on my official server. It's something that I would really encourage you to build in that area, simply due to the fact that it's just way too OP. If you don't know where the entrance is, I'll go ahead and show you the way down. Here I am above the ground right now. There are no flyers allowed down in this zone, so you have to take something that can either run, walk, so on and so forth. So you have to turn your game up when you're down there too. The location of the entrance, the easiest entrance, 37.9, 58.0. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and run down this thing. It gets really dark really fast, and then it should brighten up a little bit. So it's a long ramp is the way down, I think is a good way to put it. And if I stop glitching to the ceiling, which would be nice. There we go. You just have to run down this ramp. And when you run down this ramp, what you're going to do basically, or what you're looking for, it's just everything is everywhere. Look at all the trees, look at all the stone, fiber, berries, bushes, everything you could possibly need is down here, resource-wise. And I'm just going to show you slowly, and I'll show you the best spots that we have found for resources. This includes blue gems, green gems, metal, everything you could need. So, once you are down here, the easiest place to get any sort of resources is actually not far from any other resource, so it's all really collectible really fast. I'm going to go ahead and start out on top of these floating tree pillar things. These are great base locations, and I just wanted to show you this because, well, if you haven't seen my videos on base locations, this is a great spot. 29.7, 65.3, and at this location, on top of these, you've got pretty much every resource you need. Wood, stone, metal, gems, crystal, and these oil rocks right here, which are crazy. The fact that that's even possible is absolutely insane. Alright, so let's show you where we get wood when we are down here. See how it's nice and flat down here? We use a Carquinhos and a roll rat in order to get wood down here, and it's all over the place. 30.5, 71.0, and that is the best place for us to get wood. We just take a couple of slot cap in a matter of seconds. Now, one more trick that you might not know, and this should help you out quite a bit. If you are down in this zone, use a Doedicarus to hit the green gems. If you use a Doedicarus to hit the green gems, you actually get the best stone that you can possibly get in the game. And I'll show you what the green gem patches look like. You want to aim for the ones that have like the hexagonal shape to them. Because if you get the ones that have the hexagonal shape, you can come back with each patch with about 10 to 15,000 stone. And we usually just take our crab and just do it that way, because it's too fast not to do it that way, I think is a good way to put it. We are almost at the best location for it. So if you go over here, there's that Spino Lake. If you've seen my video on that, it's also a great location for Spinos, all that kind of stuff. Right in this region, there's a ton of little green patches. I'll show you what that means. 44.6, 64.8. In this location, if you go ahead and harvest these green gems with a Doedicarus, you can, per one of these patches, you can probably come back with about 10,000 stone. So it's a crazy amount of stone. Now, let's go ahead and show you the best poly source on the map, because organic poly is super important. It's something that you really want, and unfortunately, it's down in the rad zone. Just like on Aberration, if you've never done it before, you take a monkey, and I'll show you the video for it, and you just go to the bottom and pick the flowers, and you can come back with slot caps of polymer. Now here's the rad zone, and I'll show you the entrance right here. There's the Aberration zone. Here is the radiation zone. 36.6, 63.4. Now what you're going to do down in this zone, every single one of these rocks is metal. I showed you a clip in the beginning of my Yankee, and we had totally slot capped it. Just using this metal, we just walked down this ramp, collected metal, and left. Another cool thing, this is where you can get your Titan Boa skins if you need them, or Venom. These gems right here, these hexagonal shaped gems that are purple, when you hit them, hopefully there's no snakes or anything nearby. I don't see any. And he's going for an adventure, don't know why. I don't know why he does this. It's frustrating. But what you can do, go ahead and show you. If you hit these guys, you get blue and red gems from them. Now, obviously, we have to get up close to them. Now, for those of you that are like, I don't have a rock drake, I can't get down there. You can't do this, you can't do that. You can actually run right down this ramp with a attached lamprey if you let one bite you, and you have 600 seconds of radiation-free movement down here. Get the gems you need to make a hazard suit, and then you're good to go. Now, what you're also going to do, if you go to the very bottom down here, bloop, not only do crabs spawn in an excessive number, where you can get a ton of poly, but there's the little flowers that you can pick down here that have a ton of access to, well, basically just an unlimited number of polymer. The polymer flowers. If you've ever seen them on Aberration, they're all over the place down here. So you just take your giant gorilla and go down here. If you haven't seen my video on that, go ahead and check it out. Now here's the location of this. 38.8, 59.1. And if you just want to kill the crabs down here, you can get a ton of polymer, a ton of chitin, a ton of all that stuff that you need. Metal, gems, crystal, if you use an Anki to hit those things. It's a crazy amount of stuff. Now, one last thing I want to show you before I say peace out here. Come on now. There we go. So, near the back entrance to the radiation zone, eventually we'll get there. What you're going to do is you're going to actually find an area called Crystal Cave. Now, if you need a large amount of crystal, we take our Anki out, come back with about 6,000-7,000 crystal per run in here. And what you'll find right over here, on the back side, right here. This is Crystal Cave. So every single one of these nodes you can hit and get a crazy amount of crystal from. 46.2, 70.3 in the underground, and it's a great location that you can go in order to get a bunch of crystal. So you've got poly, you've got crystal, metal, wood, fiber, thatch. Everything you need is down in the radiation zone, at least to get started. I would really encourage you to start down here and then move up to the top, because it's a place that's really hard to troll people, which is honestly really useful, especially early game when you don't have that much stuff to defend yourself. It's just nice to have. When it comes to CP down here, what we do, now that we have our Acatinas, it doesn't matter anymore, but what we do is we go to the Spino River, and I'll show you that. We're on the way there right now. We kill the crabs, get some stone, and just make it in the chem bench, because you can come back with about, each time you go in there, you can kill 5, 6, 7 crabs, come back with about 3,000 CP, which is faster, honestly, than going to get the beaver dams. That's my personal opinion. That's what I would do. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So down in this river, This is the river down in the aberration zone at 33.4, 71.0. And this is an area that, well, it's great. You get your sarcos here, you get spinos here, crabs, and if you just follow this river up and down, get all the chitin you need from these crabs, 513 on a one-time server, you can just make yourself unlimited amounts of CP. So that's how we do everything down here. Now you do have to go to the surface in order to get silica pearls, which is unfortunate, but that's literally the only thing that's not down in this zone in excessive amounts. When it comes to gems, metal, every other resource that you could possibly need, you'll find it down here. And if you really wanted to, you could farm those guys right there that I just killed, and you can get your electronics, everything you need from killing the tech dinos down here. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If you don't mind leaving a like and a subscribe, that'd be awesome and really appreciated. If there's any other resources you want to know, make sure you leave it in the comments below, and I will try and show you where we find that amount of stuff in large abundances. But everything you need is down here. I would stay in the ab zone if I was you. Everything, literally. And there's even oil rocks for those of you that don't want to go to the surface to get oil. Right over here. These things spawn all over the place. They're just everywhere. Alright, Teachers Game 2, out.